Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the show. If you're on Twitch, make sure to hit that follow button and follow us on Twitch. Trying to get to 50 followers. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, hit the like button as well. And make sure if you're on any social media platform and you see this after the stream, give us a like, give us a comment, let us know your thoughts on the stream. We got some stuff to talk about because today, to start the day off, we had some breaking news from the dumpster fire that is the New York Jets. I put out a little video on TikTok about it. If you saw my video, you know how I already feel, but we're going to get Rodney's thoughts here. Rodney,
Okay.
Joe Douglas is fired. How do you feel, brother?
So hearing that news, I knew it was coming, but I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner than later. Because when Robert Saleh got fired, I instantly thought that the general manager was going to get fired too, because Aaron Rodgers and whatnot. Because the general manager was the one that made the decision to trade for Aaron Rodgers in the first place. So I was thinking he was going to get fired just like Robert Saleh did. But for a lot of us fans, he's 30 and 64 as a general manager, terrible, has never had a winning season, and pretty much all the draft picks that he had end up being terrible. If I'm not mistaken, the only draft pick that he could say that was good was Jamal Adams. But other than that, most of the draft picks that he had, I mean, he had Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner. Let me take that back. But he drafted Zach Wilson. But it should have happened sooner, but we saw this coming, and pretty much that means that I think the Jets should do a whole, clean up everything.
I
Aaron
said burn it
Rodgers
down.
burn the whole team down. This team has not been good since Rex Ryan was the head coach, man.
Yep.
Burn the whole team down. You are the new Cleveland Browns. You are the new factory of sadness.
See, you mentioned Zach Wilson. Here's a funny stat for you. The Jets this year with Aaron Rodgers are actually less successful on offense than Zach Wilson was at quarterback. Think about that. A Hall of Fame quarterback in Aaron Rodgers is less successful with a more talented Jets team than what Zach Wilson had to work with last year. And I said this in my video because I think you need to put it in perspective of who to get rid of.
Right,
You got to get rid of Aaron Rodgers. I think you keep Garrett Wilson because he is the number one receiver
right,
in a functioning offense. The
right,
problem is this offense doesn't function. I think you can keep Brees Hall and Braylon Allen because both of those running backs are fantastic.
right.
They just don't have an offensive line to run behind.
Mhm.
You keep Sauce Gardner. You keep Quentin Williams. I would say, keep Jermaine Johnson on the edge because he's actually a good pass rusher when he's healthy. Other than that, everybody else, go. Get out of the building. Cut them all or trade them and get draft capital. There's
What
nobody else on
about
that team that is actually going to help you win games.
what about Devontae Adams and Alan Lazard, the guys that Aaron Rodgers brought in?
Well, see, that goes with the Aaron Rodgers effect because I think Rodgers is out. I think them firing Joe Douglas told everybody today because Rodgers has no guaranteed money left on his deal after this year, so they can cut him, owe him the 41 million in dead cap that it's going to cost to cut him, but then they owe him nothing else.
Hmm.
So it won't really be that deep of a hit, and they've got the Packers draft picks because they fleeced the Packers to get or no, the Packers have the Jets draft picks. My bad.
Yeah, it was the
So
other way around.
they got to trade a lot of people. The Packers won that trade. And I
Yep.
know when the trade happened, everybody was like, "Oh my god, Aaron Rodgers, a Hall of Fame quarterback, 39 years old, going to New York." See, I knew this would happen though. I had false hope for the Jets, for their fans, because I even said this in my video today. The Cowboys fans and the Patriots fans, y'all kind of deserve this happening because the Cowboys fans, most of them, not all of them, because you're a nice guy, you don't really boast about your Cowboys. But
Hmm.
most Cowboys fans, every year, it's we're going to win the Super Bowl, right? We're going to win the Super Bowl, right? Oh my God, we got a great team. So y'all kind of deserve this. The Patriots fans deserve what they're going through because they've won 6 Super Bowls. The
Hmm.
Jets fans don't deserve this. You haven't had a franchise quarterback since Joe Namath. No, like literally, think about this. Neither one of us were alive when Joe Namath played football.
We weren't even thought of. That's the thing.
Exactly. And that's the last franchise quarterback they had. Now you
I
could say Mark
mean,
Sanchez, but Mark Sanchez was carried by a great defense under Rex Ryan.
well, here's the thing though. With the Jets, they had two guys that were above average. They had Vinny Testaverde and Chad Pennington. And if you look back at that 2000 draft class when Chad Pennington was drafted, he was the first quarterback drafted in that draft. Obviously, people are going to know he was the first quarterback picked, and Tom Brady was number the seventh quarterback drafted. But Chad Pennington, without the
199.
injuries, he was actually above average. Chad Pennington he led the Jets to the playoffs three separate times. So Chad Pennington was a above average quarterback. So really,
Yes.
they haven't had
But
anything good since Chad Pennington.
yes, but when you talk about franchise quarterbacks, you have to talk about a game-changing quarterback. And I love Chad Pennington. I think he was a very serviceable quarterback, but he was not a game changer. He did need help on the defensive side of the ball. And here's what's the saddest part about this whole thing. When they fired Robert Saleh a month ago,
Right.
we both said on the podcast, this is a bad idea. This was an Aaron Rodgers idea, and it was a bad idea.
Yes, we did.
Them firing Robert Saleh and promoting, look, I I don't think Nathaniel Hackett needs to be a head coach ever again, anywhere, under any circumstances. I don't care who the quarterback is. But
Right.
you could have promoted Nathaniel Hackett to interim head coach. Hold on. Added who's the OC now? Todd something.
I forgot
He
his
was the
name.
quarterback. He was the quarterback coach. Anyway, you could have promoted him to OC, and
Right.
then just kept Jeff Ulbrich as the DC. And I actually don't think the defense would have looked as bad as they do. But
Right.
because your defensive coordinator is having to handle a drama queen every week in Aaron Rodgers, because that's
Mhm.
what he is, it's called a
Right.
spade a spade.
He
You have to
is.
be careful. He's liable to go out there and say that he's an alien. We don't know. Rodgers doesn't have a filter. You know, he's having to manage that entire locker room, and their defense is now, if they're not the worst, they're tied for the worst defense in the NFL, and they've got great talent on the defense. DJ
Besides the
Reed and Sauce
Cowboys.
Gardner.
Besides the Cowboys.
I wasn't going to bring them up yet, but yeah, the Cowboys are. But the Cowboys, at least we can say for them, well, you know what? They were without Parsons for several weeks, and Dak isn't there anymore. The team doesn't really have anything to fight for. It's not like they're going to the playoffs. It's not like they have their quarterbacks out there. It's the backup quarterback. Like, so you can't really even say Dallas is that bad right now. Dallas did not look good yesterday against the Texans, and I was very impressed by the Texans. But I do think the Jets are the worst team. The Jets might be worse off than the Panthers,
Hmm.
and that's saying something because I hate the owner of the Panthers.
David Tepper.
Yeah, but they at least have a competent coach. They at least have a competent coach, but you know, I think Bryce Young would be a better quarterback in New York right now than Aaron Rodgers.
I don't think so because the thing is, yeah, because here's the thing that people need
He'd
to
have
understand.
weapons.
True, but the thing is, he's going to have the same problem like he's having with Carolina. He doesn't have a consistent offensive line to protect him. Because the thing is, people need to understand about quarterbacks. You can be as talented as you can be, but if you
True.
don't have a good offensive line to protect you, to give you time in the pocket, you're not going to, succeed. Even if you have the weapons or not, you need the time to give the ball to your weapons.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. But Bryce Young isn't a 40-year-old quarterback coming off of a torn Achilles, so he'd be able to move around a little bit more. And I
Yeah.
do think that offensive line, if they had a mobile quarterback back there, would actually work out better. Truly, I think if Jordan Travis was healthy, he would be starting right now for the Jets.
Hmm.
I believe that because Jordan Travis at Florida State didn't have a great offensive line either.
Mhm.
But that became apparent after he got hurt, and they had to go to their backup.
Right.
But while he was a starter, you wouldn't have known about the bad offensive line. Same thing in Kansas City. That offensive line is not that good, and we saw that happen this weekend against the Bills, how bad that offensive line really is. But for the first 9 weeks, we were thinking, oh, well, Patrick's just going to Patrick it. He's just going to hide all the flaws and figure it out. And he did for 9 weeks. It just caught up to him this week.
Right.
But
And this is the word, and surprisingly, even though he's, name wise, he's the best quarterback in the league, but this year he's literally having, statistically, he's having the worst season of his career. Like
yeah,
he has never he has I don't think in his career, and I could actually look this up, I don't think he has had as many interceptions like he does this year. I mean, I think he has like 12, 13 interceptions this year. Something that in 9 games, and that's something that's very, very not ordinary for someone like Patrick Mahomes. He has
yeah.
a touchdown interception ratio of 15-11. That's not good for someone like Patrick Mahomes, a 3-time Super Bowl champion.
But, but they're 9-1. They're winning games because of their defense. But that also goes to the culture that Andy Reid and Brett Veach, I think that's the GM's name, and the ownership, the Clark family,
Yeah,
that goes to what they've built there.
right.
They've got the franchise quarterback, they've got the franchise defensive tackle, they've got the franchise tight end. Now, true, Travis Kelce is aging, he's 36, and let's be honest, he'd probably rather be in Canada with Taylor Swift than playing football right now. I mean, I don't blame him, because I'm sure her shows are great, and he would be getting
Probably.
free drinks and free trips, he wouldn't be getting beat up every week because he's the only pass option they've got. Because let's be real, the Bills took away DeAndre Hopkins.
And Xavier Worthy.
Well, Xavier Worthy's not ready yet. You saw that. He's not ready to step into that number 2 receiver spot yet. He's a rookie, and it proved he has track speed. He's a track star, not a football star yet. People said that about Tyreek Hill, though, when Tyreek got into the league, and now he's one of the best wide receivers when he has a competent quarterback throwing him the football.
Right.
When he's
But
got
the but this is literally the same situation with Tyreek Hill. You have arguably the fastest player in the league. People are talking about, oh, he's just known for his speed, and he has the same quarterback. So let me ask you this. When you're talking about with Xavier Worthy, he's literally in the same position with Tyreek Hill, one of the fastest guys in the league, and he has the best quarterback in the league. Why is he not having the same success like Tyreek Hill did?
I think because they don't have another number 1 receiver to opposite him. D Hop is great, but D Hop doesn't match his speed, and D Hop isn't that number 1 can take the top of a defense receiver anymore because of his age. He's an
Right,
aging receiver. And
right,
Travis Kelce isn't as young as he is, or as young
right,
as he was when Tyreek was there.
right.
So it's not the 1-2 punch anymore in Kansas City. It's the Mahomes has to find Kelce or Hopkins. And I think Worthy being a rookie, we all expected it to be Rashee Rice, Xavier Worthy, McCole Hardman. That's what we expected. That's 3 top end speed guys. Well,
Hmm.
McCole Hardman's there, but he's not the number 2 receiver because Xavier Worthy is.
Hmm.
Rashee Rice is injured and probably not coming back this year. You also
Because
lost Isaiah Pacheco.
and also don't forget next year he has that trial. So don't forget he still has that trial coming up.
I forgot about that actually. He does still, yeah. I think they did that. They scheduled it for like February or something, so it'll be after the Super Bowl.
Hmm.
So the NFL did great. They were like, we're not going to suspend you. Because it's not an NFL case. We're gonna push, see if you can get the trial pushed. It was supposed to be in October. They got it pushed to February, which now I'm
Yeah.
sure Rasheed was probably like, "Can we just get it over with? Because I ain't playing
Right.
football now. There's nothing to
Right.
distract him anymore from that." But
Right.
let's move on from Joe Douglas for a minute, because we need to talk about this because I'm not gonna make fun of him because I am genuinely worried. Jerry Jones and the Cowboys have completely lost it. And hold on, I understand you're a Cowboys fan, but listen, I'm gonna say this. We need to sit down, have a genuine conversation about this. Rodney, is it possible? Is it possible Jerry Jones has dementia? I'm asking it. I'm not trying to ask it as a joke question. I'm being genuine when I ask that. Does Jerry Jones is he okay? Because I don't know if you saw what he said today. Actually, I think I can pull it up. I can probably it's probably all over Twitter. I can pull it up actually. Um, I don't know if you saw what he said today or heard what he said, but regarding Mike McCarthy, the head coach of your beloved Dallas Cowboys, which by the way, dude, you live in Atlanta, just cheer on the Falcons. I know it's painful, but at least y'all have a winning record, you know. Um,
We're gonna get to the Falcons in a moment, and I'm gonna say how I
yeah,
feel about the Falcons.
hold on, where is it? I know it's here somewhere. Anyway, um, by the way, I say the Cowboys have completely lost it, and I put they're falling apart because they opened Monday Night Countdown on a story about them trying to open the roof at AT&T Stadium and sheet metal falling on the field. That part I'll laugh about because nobody got hurt. Nobody got hurt. That's the important thing.
Right.
But Jerry said today that he doesn't think the locker room has lost faith in Mike McCarthy, and he thinks that's overblown players, if people are saying that players have lost faith. Listen, I was gonna make a video on it today. Um, I'll go ahead and tell you my take, and then you can go with yours about Jerry. And he also said that the Cowboys and him did not anticipate a 3-8 start. Is that what they are? 3-8,
Three
three
and
and seven.
seven.
Yeah, three. They're going to be 3-8 next week, so it doesn't really matter. 3-7 start. I'll say this, Jerry. I'm praying for you that you're okay mentally and physically. But if you didn't anticipate with the roster you put together, if you didn't anticipate this, then we need to seriously consider putting you in a retirement home. And probably Mike McCarthy. I mean, look, Mike McCarthy. I didn't have faith in Mike when they hired Mike McCarthy. I said, why? This is the same dude that Aaron Rodgers called archaic. This is the same coach that lied to get the job. This is the same coach that lied and said that he would run the ball more than Kellen Moore is. Because all Kellen Moore wanted to do was, spread the ball out and run up the score. Well, you know what's ironic about that statement? When you spread the ball out and you run up the score, it's really hard for your defense that's built to stop the pass to not stop the opposing team because the opposing team has to throw the ball then to catch up. When you don't have a running back and you're trying to run the ball and your best option, Ezekiel Elliott, is suspended because he won't show up to team activities. Ezekiel Elliott, and I'm only saying this because this was announced today. Ezekiel Elliott is a Joel Embiid of the NFL. Did you hear what the 76ers Tyrese Maxey did to Joel Embiid?
Call them out.
Somebody got to do that to Zeke. Somebody got to go to like CeeDee Lamb, Michael Parsons. One of y'all got to go to Zeke and be like, "Look, dude, we bigger than you. We can beat you up. You better show up because ironically, you're the best option they've got at running back, and it's not a very good one. Dak is not coming back to help you and save you.
Nope.
Cooper Rush is not the answer. I would
Nope.
actually like to see Trey Lance get some reps, unless he just physically can't function on offense, in which case, just cut your losses. But to explain to you how bad this is, all three running backs, Rico Dowell, Ezekiel Elliott, um,
Deuce Vaughn.
yeah, the midget, and then even Dalvin Cook, they're all on 1-year deals. All of them. And it gets better. It gets better. Your wide receiver room outside of CeeDee Lamb, either 1-year deals or rookie deals, and not ready to play. Your quarterback room outside of Dak, 1-year deals. Every one of them. Because they didn't pick up Trey Lance's 5th-year option Oh, and your entire defense? I looked at it. All but like 2 are on 3 or 4 year deal or on 3 or 4 year deals. Your 2 that aren't, Micah Parsons, who's on a 2 year deal because they picked up his 5th year option, and then Dexter Lawrence. Or not Dexter Lawrence, Demarcus Lawrence. So, Rodney, how you feel about your Cowboys?
Oh my God, did you really have to come at this agony that I'm going through?
I
You
do,
knew
dude.
that.
Listen. I usually this time of year, I want y'all to be good. Oh, I want y'all to be so good. Because then when it gets to Christmas, and the little kids are opening up their Christmas presents, and little Dallas Cowboy fans are opening up their Christmas presents, they get nothing. That's what I wanted. I wanted y'all to be really, really good, and then collapse like a cheap tent. But y'all went ahead and y'all didn't even put the tent up. Y'all just left it on the ground with all the poles, everything. Just your stadium is literally falling apart. That's how bad it is for Dallas. Jerry can't even keep Jerry's world together.
Oh my
That's the
God.
reason I'm laughing. It's not fun to laugh at your pain. I'm laughing because it's so dysfunctional that the owner can't even keep the team together or the stadium together. Do you know the NFL almost said we weren't going to have the Monday night game because of that? They
Oh
had
my
to send
God.
somebody up in the catwalk to make sure that a piece of metal was like pinned down,
I remember they
nailed
said
down
that. Uh,
so that they could play it and it be safe. And they had to close the roof
I remember they
because
said that.
they didn't feel it was safe to have the roof open. I feel bad. I do feel bad a little bit, not a whole lot, but a little bit.
Lord Jesus, please help me. That's all I gotta say. Lord Jesus, please help me because I have never had this much pain and suffering as a Cowboys fan since probably ever. Oh my gosh, this season alone. Oh my gosh. I have completely just said, just tank the season and just get a high draft pick. We got some talent coming in, this draft in 2025. You got the three quarterbacks in Ewers, Ward, and then Shador. And then you
Let me
also
hold on.
got
You mentioned the three quarterbacks. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you this. So Michael Irvin, Cowboys legend, love Mike.
mhm,
I actually have respect for Michael Irvin for what he did for Dallas
right.
because it wasn't easy. But I do want to say this real quick. He was on, I think it was Colin Cowherd's show, or he was on somebody's show today, and he said that his sources, have told him that if the Cowboys drafted Shador Sanders, Dion would absolutely accept a job offer from them.
I
Here's
don't buy it.
here's the problem with that. Shador is going to be either the number 1 or number 2 pick. That's probably either going to be the Giants or the Raiders or the Patriots. But Dion is also going to pull uh, an Arch Manning and make sure that his son goes probably where they want him to.
Mhm.
Here's your issue. Who happens to be the owner of the who happens to be one of the owners of the Raiders?
Tom Brady.
Who happens to be a mentor to Shador Sanders?
Tom Brady.
hmm Who happens to be very close to Dion?
Tom Brady.
And who just happens to probably going to need a new coach and quarterback next year?
The Raiders. And I
And
absolutely agree with you. The
and
Raiders.
Mark Davis, if Mark Davis is anything like his father, he will listen, or anything not like his father, my bad. He will listen to Tom because Tom knows how to do two things. He
Win.
knows how to date models and win Super Bowl rings. I had to say that, bro. I mean, you look at the brother's track record. You look at his track record. That man is rolling on track record with models, man. You know this. But
Giselle
think about it.
Bundchen. Yeah.
Think about it. He's a mentor to Tom or to Shador. He's part owner of the Raiders. He's really good. He's really close to Dion. And Mark Davis wants to win in Las Vegas. And plus, think about this. You're in Vegas, right? You've
Hmm.
already got like the little club bar thing at their
Right.
stadium, which is dope.
Right.
By the way, I want to go to Allegiant Stadium eventually, whether it's for a wrestling event or for a football game, just to be in that bar
Right,
in that little club.
right.
Imagine you've got Shador and Dion in Vegas,
Well,
and I
here's
wouldn't put it past Dion to set up his son Shiloh and to set up Travis Hunter to be right there in Vegas as well.
now Shador is an absolute yes because I was talking with this on some people's TikTok live. I think the best chance for the best team for Shador to probably be set up for success is the Raiders. I think because of the organization, everything that's going on with the Raiders, and then obviously with Antonio Pierce, I think the Raiders is probably the best team for Shador Sanders because obviously he ain't going to the Giants. You know, Dion is not going to allow, will not allow. He's not going to want probably, Shador to go to a team that has no foundation and is probably in the cold. Now with the Raiders, he's got the weapons. You know, he's got Bowers. You know, a tight end that he could build with for the next 3 to 5 years. You know, and you got a coach that so that the team can get along with Antonio Pierce, unlike that stupid coach in the past, Josh McDaniels. I think the Raiders are absolutely the best team for Shador Sanders, but I don't I don't agree with Dion going to the NFL because Dion said himself, you know, it's different coaching young men compared to millionaire adults.
But here's the thing, though. You got to think about it this way. Now in college football, most of these young men are millionaires.
But look what
And
he's doing right now. He's 8-2 in Colorado.
but no, but here's the thing though. He's going to be losing Shador, so he loses his quarterback. He's going to be losing Travis Hunter, so he loses his best weapon. He's going to be losing that other receiver they've got, that really good one, the transferred in from I don't remember where he transferred in from that, but is it Webster? That kid, the other receiver they've got.
I'm about to look it up. I'm about
Yeah,
to
I
look
don't
it up.
remember his name, but he's going to be losing him because I think he's a senior. You're going to be losing Shiloh, so there goes your two best defensive players, which Travis and Shiloh. And what is what does Dion have more than anything? He has the respect of every NFL player. Him, Randy Moss, Michael Irvin, they all have the respect of every NFL player currently playing because those guys are the ones that they looked up to. And you don't think in Vegas that I think they keep Antonio Pierce around.
I believe so too.
Maybe not in like a I don't know if it's like a coaching type of thing, maybe like a mentor, or maybe that's what Dion does. Maybe Dion goes to be like a worship leader for the team because we know he's heavy into his faith.
Right.
And also, Dion in the NFL would be so fun to see.
It
And what does
would.
he do better than anybody? What does he do better than anybody in college football right now? He's a program builder. Think about what he did with Jackson State. He turned a school that really nobody had really heard of before into a perennial powerhouse in the HBCU.
That's
He
a
then went
fact.
to Colorado, who's done nothing of relevance in the last decade, went 4-8 his first year, and now he's 8-2 and potentially going to the college football playoff as
Yes.
Big 12 champion. He
Yes.
can flip a culture. And what do the Raiders need more than anything? Culture.
Culture.
If for anything else, you bring Dion in for culture. And you mentioned Shador going to the Raiders, which I love because Shador has been tweeting every Sunday after a Raiders loss. Thank God. I'm not like Shador wants to go to Vegas. And I don't think he wants to go to Vegas just to go to the clubs and the casinos and be partying because you can't really go to the casino anyway as an NFL player.
Right.
I think he wants to go because Tom's there, because Tom's part owner. And I mean, it all kind of aligns. Tom has a good relationship with Dion. He's Shador's mentor. And now he has ownership stake in the Raiders and will be in that draft room and will be allowed to help Mark Davis decide who they pick. You
It
know
will be
he's going to
so
look at Shador.
weird. It's going to be so weird to see someone else besides Shador go to the Raiders if they get the number 2 pick, because the Raiders are obviously going to get the top 5. If they're going to be in the top 5, at least top 3, the only thing you need to say was we're getting Shador, because I think the first pick in the draft is probably going to be Jacksonville, and I'm pretty confident. I am very confident if Jacksonville gets the number 1 pick, they're going to get Travis Hunter. They're going to get Travis Hunter. I'm really confident that my 3 options for the number 1 pick, depending on who gets the number 1 pick, is going to be either Shador, Travis Hunter, or Cam Ward.
Yeah. I think it's. I think Travis goes number 1 because he's an anomaly. To
Yeah.
be honest, I think Shador's number 2. I think Cam Ward's number 3. I think Jalen Milroe's probably 4. Uh,
What
depends
about
on who it is.
Ewers? What about Ewers?
See, it's tough because Quinn Ewers is a great quarterback, but this year at least, he hasn't played anybody other than Georgia. And in the Georgia game, he got pulled
For
for
Arch.
Arch, who hadn't started a game outside of a couple injury games for Quinn either. So I
And then
don't
don't forget
know.
Genty too. Genty's coming out too.
I think Genty goes to Dallas. I think
That's
Dallas.
someone. There we go. That's what I wanted to say. If we're going to get a top 5 pick, at least top 10, we should get Genty out of Boise State.
Get a franchise running back because
Yes,
you got the quarterback, so you're not going to go get a quarterback because you've got Dak
obviously.
lined up for 4 more years.
Hmm.
You've got the wide receiver in CD Lamb.
Hmm.
You're not going to be high enough to get Travis Hunter.
No, you're not.
You've already got the lockdown corners in Bland and Diggs, so you don't
If
really
they're
need
healthy,
another corner. Yeah,
right?
and then you've got the premier pass rusher. So I think you got to get the running back, and then you sign a defensive tackle out of free agency, a run stopping defensive tackle.
And then I
Now
think
there
in
has
the second and third round, get some O line help as well.
oh please Lord yes, I like the 2 rookies y'all got, but Zach Martin's probably retiring after this year, and you're going to need a center, somebody that can actually function with
Right,
Dak. Because
right.
that center y'all got is bad. Sorry, he is. I know he's young-ish, but he's also really bad. And then you probably need a tight end, but you can go get one of those in free agency too, or in the trade market.
Right.
You can probably call the Raiders and trade for Michael Mayer because he's the number 2 tight end in Vegas and he's young, so
Mm,
he'll be on his rookie deal. Or you can go trade for Dawson Knox in Buffalo because they are building Dalton Kincaid to be the second guy
yeah.
or the number 1 guy for them. But I want to get into this. My boy, Bo Mother Living Nix. I just want to read you some stats here from my boy. Yeah.
Go ahead.
On the season, it's 11 games, by the way. There's 11 games played. He's a rookie. Keep that in
Yep.
mind.
Hmm.
234 completions, 357 attempts. Not great. A 65.5 completion percentage.
Not
Over
bad.
two. He's got 2,275 passing yards. He's got he averages 6.4 yards a pass, 14 passing touchdowns to 6 interceptions. Now, he's 11th in passing touchdowns in the league, and
Okay.
he's tied for 61st in interceptions.
Which is good.
His QBR is 55.3, which is 21st in the league, which
Okay.
is not terrible for a rookie.
Right.
His passing yards is 15th in the league. Now, he has been sacked 18 times, so the offensive line needs to help him out a little bit.
Right.
His let's see what the rating is 89.3. His QB rating.
Mm.
My bad. His QBR is 55.3. My bad. Um, Let's see. Rushing, 63 carries on 295 yards. 4 touchdowns. He does have a fumble, but they didn't lose it. So I don't think it should count against him.
Yeah.
Um, and against the Falcons,
Oh no.
28 for 33, 84.9 completion percentage,
Oh.
307 yards,
Oh.
averaged 9.3 yards a pass, had
Oh.
4 passing touchdowns with 0 interceptions.
Oh.
41 was his longest pass, and his rating for the game was 145.
Oh.
Bo
And oh.
cooking.
And guess what? And also, before you say what you say, guess what the score was against the Falcons, who has a pretty solid defense? How many
Oh,
points
I
did they
can
put
tell
up?
you, I'm looking at it.
Go ahead.
38-6.
Oh
Bo
my
Shiesty.
God.
Bo
God.
Shiesty.
Oh man.
Bo Brady? I mean, Bo Brady? You know?
Okay, not. Don't get too carried away. Don't
I'll
get too
cool off
carried
for a
away.
little bit.
For a little
But
bit,
look,
yeah.
man, I mean, dude knows what he's doing. I listen. This is so interesting to me because last year at the Senior Bowl, which by the way, going back to this year, but
Hmm.
last year at the Senior Bowl, I got to interview some of the quarterbacks. I interviewed Sam Hartman. I interviewed Spencer Rattler. Almost got to interview Bo Nix, but they pulled him away because the coach wanted to meet with him. One of
Okay.
the NFL coaches.
Right.
I won't say who. I was told who, but I'm gonna keep that to myself. That's private, you know. And I
Understandable.
was only told who because we asked.
Right.
And as media members, we were let know by his agent who it was, but we
Right.
were also asked not to say who it was, so we didn't tell anybody at least publicly, and I will keep it that way.
Go ahead.
Um, but getting to I was around him when he was getting interviewed by other people before he got pulled away. I was next to interview him.
Mm.
He's a solid. He's a good guy. He really is. He's a good Christian man.
Mm.
He very he also the high school I went to. He went to the school like 15 minutes away. So he went to Pinson Valley High School in Alabama. I
Nice.
went to Mortimer Jordan. We were rivals. He was in his senior year, my freshman year. So then when he went to Auburn, even though I'm an Alabama fan, I watched him. I
Right.
loved watching him at Auburn.
Right.
I think people forget his first game at Auburn, he went head to head with Justin Herbert and he beat him
Mm.
as a freshman.
Mm.
Now, he didn't really go ahead, it wasn't really Herbert versus Bo because it was Auburn versus Oregon, but in quarterback wise, it was Herbert versus Nix, and well, Nix beat him.
Right.
Then when he transferred to Oregon, I think people also forget that was his fourth coordinator, fourth different really coaching staff in his college career. He had to sit a year at Oregon because at that time you couldn't just transfer and play. You had to transfer, sit, and then you could play.
Until now.
So that's how he's a fifth year guy coming out and why he's as old as he is. I think he's like 24.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
he
he's
is.
yeah, he's 24.
He
But
is.
I always knew Bo could do this. I knew Bo could do this. I knew he would be good in the NFL. And I knew when he went to the Broncos, oh, it's made because everybody compared Bo, and even at the Senior Bowl, I thought Bo was the best quarterback, and that was a Senior Bowl that had Michael Penix Jr. at it,
Hmm.
Sam Hartman, Spencer Rattler, Michael Pratt. Uh, trying to think like I know his name. He's with the Raiders, kid out of South Alabama. Dang it, he was there because they needed a representative from the school, and he was coming out, so it just made sense because the Senior Bowl is at South Alabama's campus in Mobile.
Hmm.
Um, but no, I knew Bo would do this. Like I knew Bo would be a good quarterback, and everybody compared him to Drew Brees. So him falling to the Broncos was like a perfect marriage
Right.
because Sean Payton loves him. Like Sean Payton loved him before the draft. Like Sean Payton was very adamant. Like Bo, I think Bo's the best one in the group. Now I think Jaden is the best quarterback in this draft class,
I agree.
but I think Bo is right there with him. And I think Bo is seriously in the conversation now for Rookie of the Year, especially
He's,
because Jaden hasn't looked that good since his rib injury. He's
but
still looked good,
numbers wise, Jaden is still up there though. Numbers wise,
but I think that Pittsburgh game is going to hurt him. I think the way he played against Pittsburgh against that defense is going to hurt him. Bo just went up against Atlanta's defense, and Atlanta has a good defense,
they do.
especially their corners. Their corners are really good. I
And
mean,
I've seen them in person. They're pretty good. I
he
seen them
just
in
went up
person.
against one of the best corners in the league too, in AJ Terrell,
Yes, he did.
and he didn't throw a pick, and he looked extremely good. I watched the entire game. Now I didn't watch the entire game live. I was watching the Chiefs game obviously because it was on at the same time. So
Yes.
after the Chiefs game, I went back and I watched Bo's game because I saw all the stats and stuff. I watched every single piece of film from every throw that Bo made, every decision. Bo looked like a professional in that game. He was dicing up that Atlanta defense, and I think you have to have a serious conversation. Do you do Bo to be, the MVP or the offensive rookie of the year, or do you do Jaden? Because I'll pull up Jaden's numbers. I'll pull up Jaden's numbers to compare. Because it's not fair to say that I think Bo should be in there, and then not really look at Jaden Daniels' numbers. Like,
I got it right here. I got it right here. Jaden Daniels. So,
okay, I just pulled it up. If
oh,
you want me to go,
yeah, go ahead.
so he's 14th in passing yards. Or actually, wait a minute. No, you say it, and then I'll go back to Bo's numbers, and then we can compare where the rankings are.
Okay, so here's what we got. So this is Jaden Daniels so far in the league right now. So he has a QB rating of 99.6.
Okay,
He's passing yards. He has 2,338. So
right.
he's 14th in the league for passing yards. He
Okay,
has a QBR of 67.6, which is in the top five.
okay,
3 interceptions, which is tied 47th. And then
okay,
he has 10 touchdowns, which is 22nd in the league.
okay. So he's one above Bo in passing yards because Bo's 15th. He's behind Bo in passing touchdowns. Bo's 11th. He's above Bo in interceptions, but not that far behind, or not that far ahead because he's got three. Bo's got six. Bo is tied for 61st. You said Jaden was tied for what?
47th,
Okay. And then the QBR for Bo is 55.3, which is 21st in the league. And you said the QBR for Jaden is what?
67.6, and he's in the top five.
Okay. So if Jaden continues at this, if he continues to do that, has no slip ups, yes, he's the rookie of the year. But you have to remember they usually have an NL rookie of the year and an AL rookie of the year. And
Hmm.
then they go with whoever's got the higher rating for the rookie of the year
Hmm.
for the full league for
Yeah,
offense.
the AP. Yeah, the AP, the Associated Press.
Yeah, I think Bo's got to be at least the or the AFC rookie of the year. I know people are going to say Brock Bowers because Brock is like leading the league in touchdowns for a rookie right now. But I think we all know it's a quarterback award
Hmm.
mainly,
Hmm.
unless you have like an elite receiver or something.
Right.
And I think because Brock's on a bad team, they're not going to look at that as much.
Right.
Bo is on a team that's close to the playoffs.
They're going to
Like
make it.
they should, but they've also got the Chargers and Chiefs in their division. But they are fighting for the wild card spot right now with the Colts. And I like Anthony Richardson, but I don't think he's ready to take them to the playoffs. I think Bo is. And look, this might be a little bit of bias because I like Bo as a person, you know. But again, I love Jaden. I thought Jaden was the best one coming out of the class. And it does suck because I think McCarthy would be right there neck and neck with Jaden and Bo because of who he's playing with. Because he'd have Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, AJ or Aaron Jones. Like you would have a weapon and Kevin O'Connell calling plays. and Kevin O'Connell's a great play caller. So I think it would probably be Jaden, JJ, and Bo. Caleb is the worst one. Let's just, and it's not his fault. The Bears are just a terrible franchise. Caleb is the worst one.
He is.
I I thought he would be better, but when he got drafted to the Bears, I said, well, that's it. There goes his career.
And I thought Drake May was going to be the worst one, but clearly that is
Drake is
not the
cooking.
case.
Drake is
Drake
dude.
May.
Drake is a baller. I saw him play a lot at North Carolina. Drake is a baller. I mean,
And the
think about it. He does
Patriots are
come from a
good.
football family.
The team record is not good, but Drake May is, he's doing solid.
They
He
just look.
he's
They just went head to head with the Rams and almost beat them. If you had a better defense, they probably would have won that game.
but you're saying it like the Rams are this. I mean, I don't know what the next subject is, but this is not like, the Bills finally getting it done.
Oh no, no,
And
no. We're gonna get into that in a minute. But like what I'm saying is though, what everybody knows when the Rams are fully healthy and they're fully healthy right now, when they've got Puka and Cooper Cup on the field and Stafford, that's a hard team to beat. And it's not like their defense is terrible. They've got two really good edge rushers that are not making up for Aaron Donald's production, but they're doing a good job of holding their own
right,
as rookies. So they can only get better. But I do think Bo at least needs to be in the conversation. I think we need to have the conversation about him potentially being rookie of the year. I don't know if he gets it because of his struggles early in the season,
right,
but I do think he needs to be in the conversation.
right.
But you kind of mentioned it. We're gonna get into it.
I
Oh,
gotta,
what a day!
I
What a
gotta.
day Sunday was because as a Dolphins fan to see, and it hurt me to say it because I was mad at Buffalo because they let the Chiefs get Xavier Worthy, and it hurt me to say it as a Dolphins fan because I hate the Bills.
Right.
Hate the Bills. Not as much as I hate the Jets, but I hate the Bills. Chiefs go down finally. Hallelujah. Praise the
Finally,
Lord. Praise the
finally,
Lord.
Josh Allen literally, oh my gosh,
Josh Allen for
team,
MVP.
that team, not just Josh Allen, that team literally played the absolute best that they could do. That defense was going after Patrick Mahomes. The defense they were pretty much shutting Patrick Mahomes down. Patrick Mahomes, yeah, he threw 3 touchdowns, but he had 2 interceptions. It only had, 196 yards. So the defense was going after him. And freaking Josh Allen, I mean, he didn't have that good of a game, but the defense helped him get it done. I mean, Cook had even though he had, 20 yards, he got 2 touchdowns. James Cook, shout out to James Cook, Dalvin Cook's little brother. But that defense shut that team down. And I was going for the Ravens this entire season, but I'm just going to say it right now. I really think after that game last night, you could talk about the Bills potentially being the team to finally dethrone the Bills because if they can
You mean the
keep
Chiefs?
this go if the Bills can keep this going just like they did to the Chiefs on Sunday, if they can keep this going, there's a good argument that the Bills are going to be the one to finally put an end to the Chiefs, to their chance to get a three-peat. Because if the Bills can keep this going, there's still potential to them get the number one seed and get that first round bye. Think about that too. The Chiefs are now 9-1. The Bills are 9-2. So if the Chiefs lose more games and the Bills win more games, there's a possibility that the Bills will get the number one seed, get that first round bye, and guess what? The Chiefs in January have to go to the cold, in the snow potentially.
Yeah.
There's an advantage right there.
But here's the thing. So you mentioned that. My pushback is this, and there's two teams right now in the AFC actually there's three teams, but one of them is just like wishful thinking
Right.
that I look at and I go, those three can beat the Chiefs. Two of them I legitimately believe it because of their defense. One of them again just wishful thinking.
I
I
know one
think
of
the
them.
I think the Bills can do it.
Hmm.
I think the Bills can absolutely take down the Chiefs
I know
in
the
the
second
playoffs.
one. I know the second one.
I think the Steelers can do it,
There we go.
and I think this is just wishful thinking. I think the Chargers can do it if Jim Harbaugh plays Jim Harbaugh football.
Really?
Run the ball, keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands, and you've got two of the best running backs right now in the league in Gus Edwards and J.K. Dobbins. Not to mention Lad McConkey, who is absolutely balling. He's another rookie that could be up for Rookie of the Year the way he's playing. Justin Herbert is right there, finally, and he's back in that conversation with Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, which, by the way, I feel so bad for Joe Burrow. You look at his numbers and you see what him and Jamar Chase are. This was said, Dan Orlovsky said this. I want to give credit to Dan. He
Hmm.
said, you've got a MVP caliber season out of Joe Burrow, a
Right.
potential triple crown winner in Jamar Chase,
Right.
and a losing record.
Yep.
Not to mention T. Higgins when he's healthy.
Right.
And a lose. That just goes to speak about how bad that defense is. But I I didn't mention one team. Well, there's one team that I don't think can beat the Chiefs, and it's the Ravens. I don't think the Ravens can do it.
I for so long I thought they were going to be the team, but
I don't. I here's my reasoning though. I don't have faith anymore. It's not I lost faith in Lamar Jackson. It's not that I lost faith in Derrick Henry. It's not that I lost
right.
faith in Rashad Bateman or any of their receivers or even their defense. I haven't even lost faith in the defense yet.
Right.
I've lost faith in Todd Monken because we'll get to it. We'll get to that in a minute
Right.
about Todd Monken because I got some words for Todd Monken
Me too. Me
because
too.
he was the Georgia offensive coordinator if you remember for their championship teams. So you would think he would remember what got them to that championship, and it wasn't Stetson Bennett.
Right.
I know people want to give the mailman credit. It wasn't the mailman.
That old man did not.
He ain't even he is he even on? I think he's on the Rams roster, but I'm not sure. I don't know. But
I don't even
anyway,
know if he. Yeah.
we don't even know if he lives in Los Angeles anymore. For all we know, that man's in the CFL getting ready for the season. We don't know. Stetson, Stetson could be legitimately working as a mailman. We don't know.
Oh
You
my
know,
god.
I ain't heard nothing from him. I saw him in the preseason against your Cowboys when him and Trey Lance didn't know who was going to win the game. Just didn't want to, just back to back to back. I mean, he threw 4 interceptions back to back to back to back. It was bad. Mailman, that's what he does. Look, man. He's real good at delivering the ball. He just ain't delivering the ball to the right address. But no, I watched this entire game and I actually felt bad for Pat. I did because the offensive line could not protect him at all, and I knew eventually that would happen. But here's my fear. I think at this point the Chiefs look at that loss as, phew, thank God, it got the monkey off our back. No
Got
undefeated
undefeated.
season, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they legitimately look at the regular season now as like, well, this is just a warm up. You know, we can. I mean, they lost how many games last year? What, 5 or 6? Had to go on the road for the majority of the playoffs.
Yeah.
They went into Buffalo last year, and what happened? Their receivers
Wide
suddenly
right.
caught the ball.
Wide right.
That and the receivers suddenly found out how to catch the football. They go into Baltimore, and ironically, the same offensive coordinator that I don't have faith in anymore was there. And what happened? The Ravens forgot their identity, and Lamar forgot his identity. Look, Lamar can pass the ball. That's not the issue. Lamar is a running quarterback. We can all agree on that.
But
That's what he's best at,
but
and he forgot that. They didn't do any design runs for the quarterback. They didn't have a running back that was healthy because Dobbins was on the IR, Edwards was on the IR. They had Justice Hill, but he's not an old aging back anyway, at this point in his career. I actually don't know how old he is, but he feels like he's old. When he runs, it looks like he's old. But I I don't think this loss is going to bother the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are going to be like, cool, so we don't have to maintain our perfect season. I
Right.
think this loss is good for the Chiefs because now you've ate the loss. Look at who they got left on. I can either me or you one can pull up their schedule and look at what they've got left.
I got you.
Yeah, you can go ahead and pull it up. The only team they got
Oh,
left, I think, is the Steelers.
okay. So, yep, this is the remaining schedule for the Chiefs:
Yeah,
Panthers,
that's a win.
Raiders,
Win.
Chargers,
That could be a loss.
Browns.
Where's the Chargers game at?
Chargers is at Kansas City.
Okay, that's a win.
Cleveland,
That's a win.
Houston,
That could be a loss depending on how Stroud plays.
Pittsburgh,
That could be a loss.
and lastly, at Mile High.
That could be a loss depending on if the Chiefs have the one seed.
Now,
If the Chiefs have the one seed locked up,
if they're playing for a one seed, it could be a different story.
now, like I said, if the Chiefs already have the one seed locked up, which I don't think they will because of this loss to the Bills, if the Bills went out, they don't play the Ravens. I don't think you might can look at it and tell me, but they don't play the Ravens. I don't think so. They would have the tiebreaker over the Chiefs, and if they don't play the Ravens, and I don't think the Ravens are. I mean, the Ravens already have what 3 or 4 losses, so
Yeah.
they're not in contention for the one seed anymore. It's not like you have to worry about Cincinnati.
The
They're
only
not going to
team
be.
really, the only team really that Buffalo really has to really watch out for, besides the Chiefs, is the Steelers.
Do they play the Steelers though?
So this is the rest of the schedule for Buffalo:
Yeah,
San Francisco,
yeah.
Los Angeles,
That which LA team?
the Rams.
Okay, that's a win.
This is their absolute toughest test. Detroit.
That could be. Is it at Buffalo or at Detroit?
It's at Detroit.
That's a loss. I hate to say it. That's a loss. Josh, you better just ask to take the day off, brother, because they gonna headhunt you.
New England, the
That's a win.
Jets,
That's a win.
and New England.
Yeah. Okay. So they'll lose to the Lions. That's it, based on what I just heard there. So they
Yeah,
don't play Pittsburgh. So see, Pittsburgh could beat Kansas City, and then the Bills and the Steelers have the tiebreaker the over the Chiefs, and then it comes down to who's got the better record and who's got the most impressive win.
right,
If the Bills beat the Lions, I think they get the one seed
right,
because that'd be the most impressive win. If the Steelers beat the Chiefs,
right,
but the Steelers would have to beat the Chiefs in order to, because I don't think the Ravens are that impressive anymore. But you look at what
right.
I know they've got the Browns this Thursday. Then I think they got the Bengals, then the Eagles, then the Chiefs, then the Ravens and Bengals again, and Browns again.
So this is the Ravens. I got the Ravens.
Yeah,
Chargers, Eagles.
that's a loss. Wait, where's the
uh,
Chargers game at?
It is at Los Angeles SoFi.
That's a loss.
Then we got Philly,
Yeah,
Giants,
yeah, that's a win.
Pittsburgh,
Win. But
Houston.
that
Houston.
Ravens at Baltimore for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it's
That
at
they could split.
Baltimore.
They could split. They could split.
Houston, and then
Where at?
Cleveland. It's at Houston.
That could be a win. It depends on Lamar. Really, it depends
And,
on Todd Monken.
and then Cleveland.
That's a win. So they'll probably still have maybe one more loss on their record. Maybe either Houston or Pitt, depending on how well they play. But let's
Right.
talk about the Ravens since we're bringing up schedules. The Ravens fall without the king. I need to ask you this question. I'm going to ask it once, and you can give me your answer. You're in the fourth quarter of a game. The team you're playing against, their offense is playing so bad that their quarterback has not thrown a touchdown, nor have they run for. They've only scored on field goals. It's 18-16. You need a 2-point conversion to tie the game. You've got a 6'2", 245-pound running back on your roster that you signed that should be in Dallas. You have Patrick Ricard, who I think is like 6'1", 248. So you have almost 400 pounds in your backfield. Plus, you have a 6'3" or 6'2" quarterback who can run a 4.3. Why? Why is Derrick Henry on the sideline for a 2-point conversion on the what 2-yard line, 3-yard line?
So I'll let you know when I'm done because that play, I saw that play when I was at work, and
Go ahead, take your time.
that legit pissed me off. I was going that with Baltimore that entire game. So first, let me go back to the game. There's three things that really cost the Ravens that game. So it was the penalties, bullcrap calls, the penalties,
Hold on,
Justin
pause real quick.
Tucker.
I do want to add this. Real quick, I do want to add this, then I won't interrupt you again.
Yeah.
In the fourth quarter, Derrick Henry, that running back I just talked about, the 6'2", 245-pound running back, 0 touches. Go ahead.
So it was the penalties because I think they had over 100 yards of penalty yards in that game. So the penalties. Number two was Justin Tucker. The game they should have won that game because instead of being 16-18, it should have been 22-18. They should have won that game, but Justin Tucker missed those two field goals. And then also not using Derrick Henry at all, not just the first fourth quarter. They didn't use him the second half, man. So that really just boggled my mind because I said to my coworkers, there's two different plays that you could have done for the 2-point conversion to tie the game and go to overtime. You could have A did a play action pass a play action pass and you got weapons, you got Flowers, you got Aguilar, you got Likely, you got Andrews, you got Bateman, you got weapons. You could have done a play action pass to one of those five guys to get the 2-point conversion. Or you could have gone in I formation. Give the freaking ball to the best running back in the league. A guy who is arguably the most physically intimidating running back of all time. But what the hell do? You do a stupid play to have Lamar throw the ball and no receiver is in the realm to catch that ball, and you lose the game because of that call. What kind of offensive scheme was you doing to not only not use Derrick Henry in the second quarter, but having a stupid 2-point conversion call that cost you the entire game? You have the best running back in the league. You need to run him 30 times in a game. And I'm going to say it again. Derrick Henry, who's leading the league in every category, in yards and touchdowns, you need to run him 30 times in a game. Why is he not on the 2-point conversion? Why is he on the sidelines? What are you doing?
So I told you what it reminded me of, and for preference, I am a Seahawks fan in the NFC. They're my favorite NFC team. Now, a lot of that has to do with Russell Wilson, because I'm a Russell Wilson fan. I told you what it reminded me of.
Yep.
I have PTSD from that, by the way. Anytime I see a play on the goal line when you have a running back that's that good, I'm like, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. But you know what's funny? You mentioned that. I pulled it up here. Derrick Henry, uh, tied for first in carries, 197. Uh, uh, in first place for yardage, 1,185. First place in touchdowns, 13. He's 48th in yards per average in 6. So I just want to pull this up real quick. So During the Pitt game, 13 carries, 65 yards, averaged 5 yards per run, had a rushing touchdown. Oh, and he busted out a 31-yard long run. Now, do you want to know when that 31-yard run happened?
First or second quarter.
Nope, third quarter. Because, see, later in the game, Derrick Henry, because the defense gets tired, he gets better. But no. And here's the fun part. You mentioned Justin Tucker. This is one of the greatest kickers of all time. I think we
Hmm.
both agree on that.
Yep.
If he makes one of those two field goals,
They
it's a
win the game.
19-18 game.
They win the game.
And look, for Pittsburgh, they've done this twice now. Pittsburgh has beaten a team without scoring an offensive touchdown twice. Week 1, the Atlanta Falcons. Week 11, it was Ravens. Now, the Ravens one is going to hurt more for Baltimore because that's a division game.
Right.
But here's the thing. I want to point this out. When you're in the fourth quarter of a football game and you've got one of the best running backs in the league, I'm not going to say he is the best because I think Saquon Barkley right now is a little bit better. I know stats wise it doesn't show, but I think Barkley is better for the Eagles than what Henry is right now for the Ravens
I
because you
could
do
beg
have
to
the running
differ.
quarterback. Because you do
I
have
could
the
beg
running.
to differ.
Well, you have the running quarterback in Lamar Jackson, and you do that in Jalen Hurts as well. But Barkley's also a receiving back. He's an every down back. Derek's really not. Um, but 1st and 10, you should run the ball with Derek. 2nd and 5, run the ball. If it is 3rd down and less than 4 yards, run the ball. I just found this out today. So Memphis University in College Football 25, in their playbook, they have a play that has 2 fullbacks. 2. And then the running back. You could put Mark Andrews and Patrick Ricard in the backfield with Derrick Henry and run the ball. You could put Isaiah Likely in the backfield with Derrick Henry and Patrick Ricard and run the ball. Kansas City does it all the time with their tight ends.
And Philly's got the tush push.
Yeah, a little bit different now because of the rule that you can't really push, but um, but I captioned this Ravens fall without the king because you didn't use the king in the fourth quarter of the game. I don't even feel bad for Baltimore. I don't even feel bad for your fans. And this is why I don't trust y'all in the playoffs because you're telling me that Todd Monken on that play goes, I think he's up in the booth. I think he's up in the booth. He goes to the headset of John Harbaugh. Yeah, we're gonna throw the ball here. We're gonna throw the ball. Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Do you want Derek out there just in case? So maybe if they bust through the line, maybe Derek can just take it. Nah, nah. Well, who do you want out there? Uh, let's go with Justice Hill. Justice Hill. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, and line him out wide. So there's nobody else in the
Oh,
backfield with Lamar.
oh my God.
Okay, okay. Do you want the receivers to be out wide? No, no, no. I want Likely and Flowers to be up against the line so that they can chip block. Chip block for a pass play? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So then John goes to Lamar. Yeah, Lamar. You're gonna be under center. Yeah, but there won't be anybody behind you at all. We're actually gonna put our running back out wide. Oh, it's gonna be Derek, the 6'2" guy that can probably catch the ball. No, no. It's gonna be Justice. Okay. Is they and them gonna be? No, no, no. We're gonna have them line up against the line so they can help chip block on the pass play.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
Oh, and then you're gonna scramble to the left um after you snap the ball. Okay, okay. I do want to know when Jim Harbaugh is saying this to Lamar after because that's exactly what happened. I just told you exactly how the play lined up. Did at any point when he was saying this go, Todd, That might be the dumbest thing you have ever said. Like, I'm genuine. Like, I'm asking a genuine question. Like, Todd Monken. John, how do you let this guy get away? This is a guy that won two national championships at Georgia for running the football and playing great defense. Now, he wasn't the head coach, but he ran the football. And you've got one of the biggest and scariest wide receivers. This is the same dude that a few years ago tried to kill Josh Norman. We all remember that when he basically picked Josh Norman up and threw him to the side.
And ended his career.
Pretty much. Like, I want to be on the sideline. I want to be on the sideline when Todd Monken is saying that to John and just see John's face going, yeah, that'll work. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Oh, and Lamar, if nobody's open because we're lining up to chip block,
just run.
Which, by the way, our offensive line doesn't need the help because they're actually really good. Oh, and we can double team TJ Watt anyway, and we're not really worried about them. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Just run to the left. Just run to the left. Somebody will be open. Okay. And then nobody's open. Oh, and then by the way, you forgot that Herbig is gonna bust through the chip block and knock Zay Flowers about 10 yards back. Oh, and Isaiah Likely, yeah, he's gonna fall on the ground because he fell. And Joey Porter Jr., yeah, he's just gonna chase Lamar Jackson down in the backfield. Oh, and then TJ Watt's gonna come up, and then they're gonna be trying to sack you, and I just want you to throw the ball away. Actually, don't even throw it. Just kind of chunk it in the middle of the pile.
I get so mad thinking of
when
that
John
play.
Harbaugh hears Todd Monken say, "We're not," as soon as Todd said, "No, we're gonna have genuinely," John should have went like, "Beep, headphones off." Okay, Lamar, come here. What do you want to do? Because you're our franchise quarterback. Well, we got a great running back in the backfield, Derrick Henry. Let's put him back there. Oh, and give me Patrick Ricard, who, by the way, also wasn't on the field. Yeah, give me those two guys. We're gonna go I formation, and we're just gonna bust through these guys. It's on the 4-yard line. Derrick can get us 4 yards. He's got long enough legs. Like, I'm not. I am not. I've never coached. I've never. I've thought about it. I've never coached, but I feel like you don't have to be a football coach to know. Hey, we've got one of the best running backs in the league on our team.
And one of the
Hey,
best running backs all time.
Hey, he's 6'2". Hey, he's 245 pounds of pure muscle. I think we should run the ball with him. I have a genuine question. I know it's not true because I know who the offensive coordinator was. Was Todd Monken the offensive coordinator for the Seahawks in the Super Bowl? But I can at least say this: Marshawn was on the field. If you're a defensive player going into that locker room, and you've been getting beat up all week because you're not great anyway, you go in that locker room. If I'm you, I'm going to Todd Monken's office and I'm going, look, you prick. I go back to Georgia. Okay, you dick. We held them to 18 points, and you couldn't run the ball to get us a tied ball game to give us a chance. Look, you old hag. Get out of here. Pack your bag. If I'm a defensive player, I'm pissed.
Oh my god.
Dude, what? Dude, I wanted so badly to be in that locker room after that. They gonna go up to John and they're gonna go up to Todd and go, all right, both of you, all right, pack your bags, get out. We're done. We held them to 18 points and y'all couldn't run the ball for us. They scored the touchdown. Why couldn't they just run the ball in? Like, bro,
Oh, you stupid, man.
like everybody wants to talk about Doug Peterson being fired potentially. By the way, did you see his interview that he did, or his press conference he did?
Oh,
Doug Peterson.
oh
So
my God.
I don't know if it was today or when it was, but I saw it on McAfee show. They were playing it. He was asked by the media about who told Shad Khan that this Jaguars team was one of the best ever assembled. You know, because Shad told the team apparently in a team meeting this is the best team ever assembled on paper. They're 2-8, and he goes, bro, he legitimately goes, uh, I no, I didn't. I don't. You know, I'm not privy to those conversations that Sean has with whoever he's talking to.
Mm,
No, it wasn't me. Like he looked like. And then there was one question I can't remember exactly what it was. I think it was the offensive play calling. If there was going to be a change at the offensive play calling position, and he goes, he literally starts with, "Oh, how can I do this?" Like he literally goes with, "Oh, how can I do this?" What he's trying to say is, "How can I tell y'all the truth? We suck." But he can't say that obviously because then he's the head coach. So he just goes, "Everything's on the table." Yeah, because you're gonna get fired,
oh my God. I
dude.
can't take this no more, man.
Like I feel bad for. I don't even feel bad for the Jaguars because y'all had a franchise quarterback and y'all are wasting him. Trevor Lawrence is a good
Absolutely
kid.
wasted him. Absolutely wasted him.
You know who else needs to be fired since we're just going off this rant on firing people?
Mike
Zach
McCarthy.
Taylor. No,
Mike.
Zach Taylor. Because who hires? And I know he's a good defensive coordinator, but who hires Lou Anarumo to be your DC and you don't give him any talent to work with? They don't have anybody on defense that scares anybody. And look, what's sad is that they almost beat the Chargers, but Jim Harbaugh didn't let it happen. Harbaugh didn't. Staley.
And they almost beat the Rams. I mean
That's
the
what's sad.
Chiefs. The Chiefs. They almost beat
Yeah,
the
but
Chiefs.
that's what's sad about it. Their offense is really good, but their defense sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
Mm.
these are always fun.
Oh my
Oh, dude,
God. I don't
we
know if I
gotta.
have much more left in me, man, after
Well,
that game.
that was the last segment I had scheduled for tonight. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I actually do have something to say. I actually have a shout out. So
What you got? What you got?
I did tell you. So I want to give a shout out to Deep South Wrestling. So
Yes, sir.
I went to my first Deep South Wrestling event this Sunday. Main event featured a TNA original Cowboy James Storm. My very first time seeing him in person. I got this
Yeah.
hoodie at the event. Had a really good time, man. Had a really good time. And an announcement for anyone that's watching, for any wrestling fans, they're coming back to Georgia December 15th. If you want to come, Nick, your man, your boy, Zilla 2 is going
Z
to
baby.
be there.
Yeah, I knew he was gonna be there. I
So
didn't
I
know when
am
they were coming back, but I knew he was gonna be at the next show.
I am definitely going to that event. So shout out to Deep South Wrestling and December 15th, Deep South, Zilla 2 in Midtown. I'm definitely going to be there. And I already talked to you guys. I already told y'all what I could do. And this is my partner right here, Nick. I told y'all I had a partner that I wanted to bring in. Here's my partner, Nick. So I messaged you guys on Instagram. So you see what we're doing. Hopefully, you guys can see us here. We're big wrestling fans, we're big football fans. So come
Absolutely.
on, give us a shot.
Absolutely, man. Hey, I do have a little bit, not a whole lot, but a little bit of experience working with an independent promotion from last year. I'd love to get back into working with independent promotions. So Deep South, my boy Rodney hit y'all up, hit him back.
Matter of
We
fact,
are, and
hit my
look, we're
man Nick.
yeah. I mean, look, we're huge wrestling fans. And by the way, I'm gonna talk to all of y'all obviously in a little bit, but sometime next week probably we need to go ahead and get Yeah, sometime next week we gotta do our Survivor Series predictions. Once they finally announce who's gonna be that, dude, I hope it's not Seth. Lord, I hope it's not Seth. It's nothing against Seth. I just think the story doesn't. Let me rephrase. I get it because this is also the 12-year anniversary of the Shield.
Right.
This Survivor Series. So I understand that's a big thing. You can't have Mox there, obviously,
Obviously.
unless Tony Khan wants to let him come over, but I doubt that's happening.
He's
Unless,
the champ. Yeah.
but
So that ain't happening.
Tony, come on, man, just one time for you say you're a wrestling fan, right? You say you love the business, then you know how important the Shield is to the wrestling industry.
Right.
So let Mox off his leash. Actually, wait a minute. Let me rephrase that. Mox, let Tony off his leash. I don't know. I don't know where you got that man locked up at, Mox. Bro, have you been watching AEW? Let's get it. Like, dude, Moxley, he kind of he kind of the boss now.
It does seem like that.
Look, I mean, he told Tony Schiavone, "This ain't your company no more." It was never Tony Schiavone's company to begin with. I think he was really talking to Tony Khan. He's like,
Definitely.
look, bitch, I'm gonna buy your company." I will say this, dude. Honestly, John Moxley is. I think he is trying to, with his storyline at least, turn AEW into what ECW was, kind of, with
How?
his storyline of
How
being
so?
reckless, of being dangerous, of not knowing what's going to happen next. Like, I think
Hmm.
he's trying to be that Paul Heyman of the storyline,
Hmm.
kind of shake up the company, shake up the industry a little bit.
I can see that.
I mean, look, I will say it right now. I think John Moxley is better than Dean Ambrose
Oh,
because
leap years ahead of Dean Ambrose.
only because of the booking. Because in AEW, you can say this: that there is a positive from AEW. They do let their wrestlers have creative freedom, and they let their wrestlers work independent shows. Now WWE is getting better about letting certain wrestlers have independent and certain wrestlers work indie shows. By the way, can we talk about? I know it's a football show, but we gotta talk about this for a minute. On SmackDown, Shinsuke Nakamura. He's back, and dude, we're getting Japanese. We're getting New Japan Shinsuke.
He
We're getting
looked,
New Japan Shinsuke. That dark, demented Shinsuke Nakamura that he's needed to be for years.
yes.
Oh, thank God Triple H opened up our eyes.
I saw that return after LA Knight defended his US title.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Shinsuke looked absolutely so badass, bro. He looked
He looked
so
great.
cool. The
Champion.
king of strong style, he's back. He's back.
Here's the thing. He's that demented, creepy character that he was in New Japan. That line of face paint that he's got now, the black robe that he's got. Oh, dude.
Triple
Where
H,
he's cooking.
Paul, don't screw this up, Paul.
Now here's my only thing. As much as I love that Paul, that does not make up for Sami Zayn being part of the bloodline story again. It doesn't. Not yet. I need to see Zilla or Jacob, and really any of Jay, for all I care, take out Sammy.
But there's too much to pack in this soon. But we definitely got next week because Survivor Series is next Saturday, and of course you got
Yeah.
the War Games. So we definitely have to do something
Yeah.
next week leading
We'll
up
get
to
yeah,
War Games.
I'll get with everybody probably this weekend about it.
And then
See what schedules look
obviously
like.
And then obviously everybody you're gonna tune in to me and to Nick and me every Tuesday. So we're gonna keep giving y'all some NFL news. And even when the NFL season is over, we're still gonna be here. So we ain't going nowhere, even
Yeah,
when the
because you know
NFL
what, dude?
season's over.
We can also talk about the NFL draft, NFL combine.
hmm
I'll be down at the Senior Bowl, so we can do our podcast from there. You know,
I
uh,
gotta hey, I'll go to the Senior Bowl with you. I'm down.
dude. Hey, like for real though, honestly, if you want to come to the Senior Bowl, when I go in to get my media pass, I'll tell you about it, and you can go apply for yours. We can go down there together. Or hey, look, since you are a contributing member to the channel, I can just apply for you to have a media pass as well. I'll just need your name and stuff, and then we go down there together. I'll be down there that whole week though, not just for the game. I'll be down there for all the media stuff. So if you want to come down with that week, that works. Or if you want to come down, for the game, either one.
I'll take some time. I'll take some time off. This is an opportunity. I'll take some time off of work.
Dude, I tell you what, last year going, I didn't really know what to expect. The amount of connections I got just from 1 year, like 1 week of being there, it is irreplaceable. But here's the unfortunate part, and it is unfortunate because I was planning on going to the Royal Rumble, but Senior Bowl is on the same day as Royal Rumble, so that
Mm,
week is on the same week as Rumble week. So I have to pick. I had to pick, career opportunity over hanging out with Carter and our friends, and unfortunately, I'm gonna have to pick career opportunity. You know, um, so if you still want to come though, let me know, and I'll when I gotta wait for them to open up the website. I don't think they open it till December or January, but when they open it, I'm gonna apply. I got it last year, and I've got more subscribers this year than I did last year, so I should get it. But yeah, man, if you want to come, uh, yeah, hey, I'm down. It'll work
I'm down
together.
too.
Uh, we can meet up with the guys that I know are already going to be there, and then you know, uh, we can do our podcast. They've got the tables and everything set up at the stadium. Obviously, we can do the podcast in person from the stadium
Let's
after the
do
day
it.
or something. Cover it.
Let's
Um,
do it.
yeah, man. So yeah, Senior Bowl stuff, draft stuff, combine stuff. Bro. I'm still trying to figure out how to get credentials to the combine in Indy because, bro, I want to go to that.
I still
I
want to go
want
to
to.
that too. I want to
I'm gonna
go.
try this year for sure. I
I want to
think
go.
I will say this, and I'm trying to get credentials for the Super Bowl for like that Radio Row stuff, all that stuff.
Hmm.
Here's my thing. I think it is easier to get credentials to NFL stuff than it ever will be to get it to college.
Mm,
Because I think with NFL, they have open like I could apply to go to a Titans game as media and probably get it. I think they're more open to letting smaller media come in than college football is.
hmm.
And what I mean by that is like YouTube channels. Like I think they're allowing YouTubers to be because I think they understand what we do as streamers, as content creators, is
Right.
huge for their company.
Right.
WWE does the same thing. So does AEW. AEW doesn't do it as much, but WWE does. They allow credentials for events. I think Carter should probably apply for a credential, honestly, for the Rumble. Because if you get a credential, I don't think you have to pay for a ticket. I don't think.
Well,
I know
me
you
and
don't
you
for the
got the
Senior Bowl or the NFL events, but I don't
well
know
the
about the.
senior. Well, Senior Bowl. Me and you got that and shit. Next year, Senior Bowl and NFL Draft Combine.
Yeah, man, I'm gonna try
Absolutely.
to get that. Try to get
Ab-
that. If
Absolutely.
you find the website, let me know, and we can, you can send me the link or something. I'd love to apply for the NFL Combine, and then I'm still trying to look into getting into the Super Bowl. The problem is though, I think the Super Bowl is. See what day is the Super Bowl going to be on, and I
It's
wouldn't
in
even care like
February.
what. I know it's in February, but like, and I wouldn't even care like what teams are playing in it. I just want to go because like that'd be a huge opportunity to talk to NFL players. And
Right.
I know they let content creators into that media or into that Radio Row all the time.
I
They're always
applied for
letting
the
them.
Super Bowl. I applied for it. I did. I'm gonna try to look for it so I can send it to you. But I did apply for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's
So
on February 9th. So that'll be the week after the Senior Bowl. So we just make that a plan to do Senior Bowl and then the next weekend do Super Bowl or do the
hmm.
next week Radio Row.
Right.
I, that, did you ever get accepted on the Super Bowl?
Not yet. Not yet.
They might wait. They might be waiting. They
Probably.
might be waiting to see how many big media people are going to be there. And it's going to be big because it's in New Orleans.
Well,
But yeah,
hey,
man.
there's still time left, so who
Oh no, I'm
knows?
I'm applying. And again, like I think my numbers last year got me into the Senior Bowl. So I know they're going to get me into this year. I think the Super Bowl is probably capable. When you look at my subscriber numbers on YouTube, I'm not very high, but I'm not low. It's not
Right.
like I've got like 100 or two. Like I've got 533 subscribers. So I say we've got 533 subscribers. Because I
Mm,
mean, I consider you, Carter, uh, Josh, and Ryan all part of a contributing team here.
right.
This is something I've always wanted. Like for me, and I'll say this live. For me, doing this was something I always wanted to do. Doing media, covering NFL and wrestling, always a dream. But I didn't want to do it by myself, if that makes sense. I wanted to bring people up with me because, in my eyes, what good is success if you can't have your family and your friends be along with it? And to me, you being part of the team, you're part of the family now. Ryan's part of the family. Josh is part of the family. Carter's part of the family. And so we're all a contributing team here. It's not just, I know it says the Nick Beasley show, but it's not just me anymore. It's a multitude of people that work alongside me, which is why if we ever start making any money off of this, I'm absolute like y'all are gonna be taken care of too. Like it's whatever I've already told them, like if I send y'all the link to my channel, y'all post something on my channel, great. If you make money off of it and it's just you on there, that's yours. Not mine. Not, if it's all five of us, then we split it five ways. We find a way to do that.
Right.
Whatever you're involved in, you're making money off of if we ever make money off of this, which
Right.
is ultimately the goal, I think, for everybody. But I'm
Right.
not doing it for money. I'm doing it because I love it. Because if you
Right.
do it for money, then you become stale and bored with it.
Right.
But yeah, man, I enjoyed the stream. We went an hour and a half, not as long as I thought we would go. Um, but yeah, so I'll apply for Senior Bowl stuff. You send me the stuff for the Super Bowl, and I'll see if I can get media stuff for that.
Mhm.
Anything you want to say before we end the stream here?
Well, pretty much said my shout outs to Deep South Wrestling. Definitely got next week on covering the NFL, and hopefully we could get something covering War Games.
War games.
War Games!
We're talking war games.
War Games!
All right, guys, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel. If you're on Twitch, hit that follow button. Trying to get to 50 followers on Twitch. And if you're on TikTok or anywhere else you see this, because hopefully that Opus clip link is working this week. Opus, if you hear me, reopen your link so I can do what I need to do to get my job done. But yeah, if you see any clips or anything, make sure to like, comment, follow Rodney on all of his socials. It's what is it again? You go ahead and say it.
So, so my Instagram is RJK underscore forever two, and my TikTok and YouTube is RJK forever the number four.
Yes, sir. And by the way, I've been seeing what you've been doing in them lives, brother, on TikTok. I've been seeing it. I'll get on TikTok and there'll be Rodney's live. I'm like, dang, that boy working. That boy working overtime. You know. All right, man. I appreciate you being on. Obviously, we got to come up with a better name for the podcast when we do it. We'll figure that out in due time. But guys, again, make sure to like, subscribe, follow, comment. Let us know. This will also be on Spotify. Rate us on Spotify. Give us 10 stars. That'd be great. Let us know what you want us to talk about in the comment section down below. We will cover it. You comment what you want us to talk about. We will cover it. I will add it to the doc. Um, anyway, guys, love y'all. Thank y'all. Always love and support. Um, Rodney, appreciate you, brother, being on here. And yeah, my buddy's actually going live right at this moment, so this is perfect time for ending.
Yeah.